Okay, here's how to disassemble a 986 Boxster base seat. So I'm recovering these. I did that one. I don't love it. It's a little bit wrinkly. I'm going to try to redo it, but I'm going to do the other seat in the meantime and try to pick up one or two things to help me with that one. So to begin, I take off the bottom, and to do that, you release these tabs. So you pull these pins straight out and then lift this tab out of its hole right there. There are two of those. Then on the bottom, there's one number 2 Phillips head screw that you'll remove. And then you'll carefully move these tabs out of the way, pry the seat bottom off of the frame. And with the seat bottom off the frame, you're now gonna remove it, and you have to remove some electrical connectors. I think there are a couple ways to do this, and I'll tell you the way I like. So what I like to do is, if you come over here, there's one white connector under here, which I like to take off there. That goes down to the seat frame. And then rather than undo this and snake it all off, I like to come over here and just undo the seat belt, which is this other wire coming here. That's a 17 millimeter, just impact that off. And then you can feed the whole buckle assembly through the frame and remove this without touching any of your wiring. Next step is going to be to remove this center section, and that'll allow you access to the bolster. So there is one clip here on the back, this U-shaped clip that goes on this edge. You're just going to want to peel that off and then pull this out from the front at the bottom. It's like this. And then there are 3 clips up top onto a wire, which you might want to pull up on the sides to see and kind of work those off. Those are a little trickier. Okay, just to show what these clips are like, there's this wire that they go on, and the wire hooks right in there. So I found that if you lift up on the end of the hook, that seems to be the best, and then work it out over the wire. And there are 3 across the top. So once the center section is out, you're going to want to go ahead and just release the 2 flaps on the bottom. And then there are a couple clips around here that are holding the front on. And the way that these are done, what I like to do is I like to take a screwdriver, push down on this bar inside, and then as I'm pushing down, pull the clip towards me with another screwdriver or with my fingers if they're not too sore. And then this bar should lift right out past the clip, just like that. And then you will also have to take off the seat recliners, I guess they're called. So there is a bezel that goes here that I've already taken off. And then there's this handle on top. So for the handle, just grab 2 trim tools and put them under and then pull straight off like that. And then for the bezel, you just have to go, it has this tab holding it on the bottom, just a clip on top. So you just have to lift the top out, and then you can lift the bezel out kind of upwards and out like that. And there's one on each side. And one more item on the back is just a simple Phillips head coat hanger, which is right there. Just one number 2 Phillips right at the top of the headrest on the back. Okay, so there are a couple clips up top here, and these are actually reversed compared to the ones lower down. So you can't pull this straight off. It's actually on the inside. So what I do is I go ahead and get a screwdriver underneath these tabs that bite into this block. And I just lift those tabs off carefully, trying not to mar the block too much, or that boss. And then I lift the tab straight off with it still attached to the seat cover. And there are 4 of those, 1 there and there, and then 2 in the center. Okay, so once those clips are out, you're ready to start peeling off the cover. So at the bottom here, the ears of the foam are kind of tucked into these pockets on the cover, so you'll want to pull those out. And then there are 2 kind of cards here that are flipped up and under into the plastic piece on the inside there. So you want to pull those cards off and then start peeling it up. So to get at the outboard bottom side, we need to remove this cover. So it's 1 clip. Oh, this is disgusting. One clip right there on the bottom that pulls straight back, which clips on to about here. And then it looks like one tab here. So this is going to be just like 2 screwdrivers, pull that center out, and then I think that's it. Should just come out there. So I have the seat back going on. So the mistake I made with the other one that so far is going well is that I clasped the center here and the back before pulling it down around the bottom. It's got these 2 on either side. There's a clasp on the bottom. Here's this one. And I think you want to do the bottom first to pull the material down vertically into place and then stretch it out with the front and back. So what I did is I put it on as far as it would go, and then just went ahead and went over these. And then I cut little slots here to push these through so I could get it a little further down. And then I've just been pulling the material down over the cushion, going in here and pushing the cushion out because it tends to pull the cushion in, pushing the cushion out. And then, yeah, I tucked the bottom of the foam, which is right here. I tucked that into a little pocket, which I neglected on the other one. And then just have continuously been pulling it down, stretching it out. And then I went ahead and clasped this side, and I'm gonna try to clasp the other side before I finish up for now. And see how it looks. Okay, so here's the seat on the way. Still don't love the way that these seams kind of bulge here. I might work on that a bit more. It might pull over nicely once that's attached. But at the back here, the seat will release, maybe not. Kind of started to squeeze in this guy, so it's popping out a little bit, but I just took a trim tool and wedged it in. So it has this channel. I wedged the channel in straight and then kind of pressed down on the seam all around to get it in there. Yeah, and hopefully this also kind of pulls out, straightens out that. So it's coming along. Here is the seat bottom. The first thing I'm gonna do is remove the seat back adjustment here. And then this doesn't have, I believe this is an up and down movement on the driver's seat, but this is the passenger seat, doesn't have it. So just remove this piece. I'm gonna snap this switch out and then remove the bezel with 2 number 1 Phillips. So to get off the little handle piece, I actually went in here in this hole and with a pair of pliers squeeze these tabs in order to get it off easily. And then be careful, there's a spring-loaded plunger here, and this is just held in when it snaps on, so this can fall out. Just don't lose that. And then in order to remove the bezel, you're going to want to get those 2 Phillips I mentioned, and then there are 2 tabs here and there. You're going to want to push this front part down and pop them out like that. Same thing on this side. And then this switch is just held in with 4 tabs right there. So if you lift up 2 on one side, you can kind of rock it back and forth and get it out pretty easily. Then in order to remove the cover, there are going to be 4 stapled tabs back here. And then these 2 kind of bosses on either side. And then this you just peel out from over the edge, and then should come right off. And there are going to be a couple clips under here for the center of the seat. Okay, so here's the seat flipped up, and there are just a couple of these clips on the side. 1, 2, 3, I think there are 4 or 5, so I'll have to undo one. And then at 3 sections across the middle, same thing. There's 1, 2, 3, and then here and here as well. And we're just going to take all those off, and the cover is free. So here's the center section, the seat back center section, and the old one is held in. First, there are these fabric edges that are stretched over the side, And then those are clipped on all around here. And then 3 rails in the middle that are clipped on here, here, and here. And this top row used to have hog rings holding that rail on, but they're a bit annoying to try to reapply without the right tools. So I just stole one of the clips from the top and one from the bottom and put 2 there that I'll use instead. So yep, the order is going to be clip the rails on first, and then you're going to want to stretch this fabric over pretty tight to get a nice fit. I also cut out the foam section in the upper 2 parts because the original is pretty thin material, so I wanted to mimic that as best I could. So here's the cover on. Would like it to fit a little better. Also, this back cover is kind of leaving a bit to be desired. I might go back and fix that, but there's a bar up top that it clips onto, and then you feed it down and under. And then there's a rail back here behind this, and this is part of that centerpiece. And this just snaps right onto the rail. And that is the center section on. Okay, so here is how I got the seat bottom onto the cushion. So this has a channel all around. This inner channel hooks to the edge, going around the seat, or the seat frame rather. But this material on the outside of the channel was too tall to fit in the crevices here. So what I actually did is I took an angle grinder and I cut out these bosses from the other side to make room for this seat material to come up. And then this channel can grip this edge. So now what I do is with this edge attached, I flip it over and you'll see it just kind of pinches and rolls the front of the seat, and that's what you want. And then go ahead and tuck it down, lift up all the other sides of the seat, make sure nothing's getting caught, and then tuck it down in there, and then go around and flip this channel onto the seat edge, and then we'll get to the back. So once you have the front on and you can go around and lift the sides up, then you're going to want to put in your 4 clips at the back here. I'm not sure if I'm going to restaple these or not. They seem to be held on decently. And then you're going to want to stretch this piece on either side and cut 2 slits to go over these bosses on both sides. And that'll get the shape, it'll shape the seat nicely. All right, so I cut the slits and stretched these little ears over them, or stretched, yeah, the little ears of the seat cover over them. And now this is ready to go back on to, or actually, I have to cut the hole for the seat control here, but then it'll be ready to go back on. All right, here's the hole I cut for the seat control panel. So this is gonna go right over it like that. Cut a little close to the edge here. If I do this again, I would cut this corner for the screw hole, and then I would come out a little bit to give myself a flap so it's not pulling. But I should be able to kind of tuck it under, so no big deal.